Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Yo, timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to get directly into the full gear review, but fuck with me for a minute if you want to hear a cool story, or a funny story if you will. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just the person in line looking at this go down, and I gotta tell you, man, which is a great little, talking point, because I feel like throughout the week, hearing CM Punk and AJ Lee and being, bombarded by weirdo stalkers, and I just seen a quote from Jerry Lynn talking about how, customers are entitled to your time when you're off the clock because he's a fucking retard. I can't think of a better example as to why I look at customers or I look at fans and I say to myself, no, you were not entitled to my time because you're inherently a fucking retard, right? I'm in line at this Family Dollar, right? And I'm right behind this lady. And this fucking poor cashier is having to ring this lady out, right? So she brings up a bunch of cleaning products. I can see it on the conveyor belt. I'm right behind her. She has like a plunger. She has like Fabuloso, steel wool, shit that it looks like you're about to clean some shit, right? And one of the items happened to be baking soda. But it's the food grade baking soda, which you can use to clean, right? But I guess that Family Dollar store, they have two baking soda items, right? So you have, I guess, the food grade based baking soda, and then you have like the Arm & Hammer cleaning baking soda. You can clean with either from my understanding, but there's one designated for cleaning and there's one designated for cooking. I guess the cashier, because he's seen the stuff on the conveyor belt, was trying to tell this insane, crazy bitch, hey, man, because I see you got a bunch of cleaning stuff here. That baking soda is for food. We got some cleaning baking soda if you want me to go grab it for you. And this lady is like staring at him. And he's looking at her. He's like, do you want me to go get it for you? I shit you not. The lady, I thought she was retarded. I thought maybe she was having like some type of mental episode. She looks at this poor cashier and she's like, thanks, I know already. She says it in that tone. She's like, thanks, I know already. I don't need your help. I'm not stupid. And the cashier's looking confused. So I just happened to jump in. I'm like, hey, ma'am, I think he was just trying to say like there's two different baking sodas. And he's like, I know what he's trying to say, but I'm not stupid. I know. I grabbed this for a reason. And I'm like, yeah, man, but like you being super hostile for no reason. He was just saying. Then she snapped at me. She was like, oh, so what, you're going to take his side too? And I'm looking at the cashier. I'm like, man, you tripping right now. I laughed in her face, bro. I'm like, you were fucking goofy. I'm laughing at your face now. I'm like, yo, man, all right, go ahead. Like, you tripping right now. She's like, oh, I'm tripping? I'm like, ma'am, like you doing too much right now. I was just trying to tell you that old boy was letting you know that it was like, no, that's the problem with you, man. You think that you can tell us women that we're dumb straight to our face or some shit like that. She starts going on this fucking diatribe about how men are trying to fucking tell women what to do. This is all over baking soda. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like laughing, bro. She's like, oh, what she said? She said some shit to me. I can't even remember the word that she used. I don't know, belittle. I think she said you're belittling me now? You're just gonna keep laughing? I'm like, ma'am, I'm laughing at you because you a crazy ass lady. You're fucking insane. He was just telling you that he can help you. He just assumed that you didn't know we had extra baking soda or you guys didn't have baking extra. He was just trying to fucking help you. He was trying to fucking help you. And, bro. Until it got to the point the cashier started to laugh at her ass too. And then she's like, oh, you're laughing too? What's your corporate number? I'm like, bro, this is fucking insane, bro. This is fucking insane. Buddy was like, oh, ma'am, I don't know it by heart. He said, oh, look at that. The man doesn't know something by heart, but you know where the baking soda's at by heart. I'm like, hey, yo, bro, just ring guy and get out of here, man. And then that's what he did. And she's still standing there, and I got my shit scanned. I just walked out, bro. That was the craziest fucking experience I've seen in a while, bro. People are actually fucking insane. Like, I'm people are fucking insane, bro. But y'all gonna sit here and say customers are always right, or people are entitled to your dedicated off time because they happen to be fans, which is pretty much saying that they're customers. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm saying as a person who was a customer. No. Customers, fans are inherently fucking retarded. You should always go into a situation where the customer is always wrong and they have to prove you right. That's it. That's it. You don't owe them time. You don't owe them an argument. You don't owe them an explanation. That lady was a full-on retard. She is a retard. And that person is always right? Really? Reaffirm that person? Yeah, sure. But quick little story. I just thought that was funny. Let's get into the Full Gear show. Okay, seriously, stop doing this shit. Like, it was cute the first time. I thought it was even somewhat innovative the first time when they did it with the whole FTR lead-in. Stop doing this shit. It's not cute anymore. It's not. It's already done. You did it the first time, and I'm already completely over it. These motherfuckers did it again with that tailgate bullshit leading into the pay-per-view. Motherfucker, it's already bad enough that I'm spending $50 on the AEW pay-per-view. Don't you fucking dare try to sneak in a fucking collision match on my fucking pay-per-view. Don't you dare make me feel like I just spent $50 on a fucking collision match. You want that shit on the fucking pay-per-view? Then be a man, lope the fuck up, drop your goddamn nuts, and put the fucking match on the fucking pay-per-view. Ooh, we can't stand and I have take a shitter and fucking Goku on the goddamn main card. Make sure to lead a man, Tony. Make sure to lead a man. Fuck me, bro. If I want to pay $50 for this match, then put the fucking match on the fucking pay-per-view. Now, with that being said, Darby Allin and PAC, I like this match. Now, I will say the finish was kind of anticlimactic, but nevertheless, though, I did like the match. Look, I never really had, and I think I said this in the past, I don't hate Darby Allin. And as a matter of fact, I like Darby Allin. He very much so reminds me of Mick Foley. He is for sure the Mick Foley of this generation. I don't think Darby Allin is bad on the microphone. People may say that because, you know, he doesn't have catchphrases and stuff, but when you hear him talk, you know, he's good. He ain't no fucking Rock. He ain't no fucking Macho Man. He ain't no fucking Dusty or Roddy. He ain't Austin. He ain't none of that shit. But he's solid. He's like a Will Ospreay. People can, you know, fake it and pretend as if Will Ospreay is bad on the microphone. He's not. And he does have charisma. Ospreay as well. But talking about Darby, he does have charisma. He does carry himself very well. I like Darby Allin. It's just he goes so overboard with the fucking stupidity when he gets into his gimmick matches that it just takes me completely out of the match, because it feels like you're doing an episode of Jackass more so than you're doing actual storytelling and actual wrestling. When you put him within the confines of actual wrestling and he actually takes those brutal bumps, then that's storytelling. That's actually selling yourself, especially a guy his size, where I know it's kind of played out, the whole underdog shit, because it feels like everybody wants to be a fucking underdog, but it does fit his character. It does fit his size. It does fit his look. So I don't mind Darby Allin in that kind of position. I don't mind Darby Allin when he's actually doing the crazy shit that he does. I just hate it when he goes overboard in gimmick matches, because once again, it feels like the spots take precedence over the actual story. And then people like to gaslight you and pretend that the spots in itself is telling the story. No, it's not. It's just fucking buffoonery. It turns into a goddamn like a snuff film more so than it actually is you trying to sell me on the idea that you're hurt. And he did a great job in this match by portraying that, by the spots that he was taking. That goddamn whiplash spot, like the military press, I know that's, you know, kind of honing back to when he got military press off the damn stage through the table on fire a couple of weeks ago. But that spot, when he got whiplash, like a hard Irish whip into the fucking turnbuckle, and then he completely missed it, and then went flying outside the ring, that was a dope ass spot. I fuck with that spot. It looked like it fucking hurt, but at the same time, it looked like it was safe. Like, it was like, you can only take a spot like that as safe as you can without, it's gonna hurt no matter. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are just certain things in wrestling where it's just like you just can't protect yourself, right? You can only do as much as you can to protect yourself, but you're not really going to protect yourself. And overall, I thought the storytelling in this match to try to get over PAC was solid. My only thing that I don't like, and I touched on this before, was the actual finish, right? I do appreciate the finish. I just felt like it came out of nowhere. I feel like there could have been a little bit more built up to get to that. Oh, if you weren't so busy trying to, try to fucking push that stupid ass tailgate bullshit into this, you could have used that time to flesh out the finish a little bit more. But PAC, he was locked into the sharpshooter by Darby Allin, and Wheeler Yuta came out for a distraction, right? And that distraction caused PAC to pick up a bat that Darby brought ringside with him, and he used it on him, and he picked up the win just like that. Just like that. He was pretty much taking control of the I don't remember Darby having a comeback. He legit just locked him into the sharpshooter or the Scorpion Deathlock, and then PAC called Wheeler Yuta out. He grabbed the bat and he hit him with it, and then that was it. And then he went to the next match, which is his women's match that's about to start right now. Again, I like what they did. I understand the finish. It doesn't make anyone look weak. I don't even mind PAC going over because, the story of Darby is just like Mick Foley, where it's like, no matter what spot you put him in, because of what he actually does, more in particular, and that's when character starts to play a really strong, it's a strong tool, because your character can always explain away why you're a loser, while at the same time making you being a loser a valuable component to who you are as a character. Does that make any sense? So I don't mind Darby losing because he can afford the loss because he's Darby Allin. I just wish they would have fleshed out the finish a little bit more. And I will say this too. I like PAC. I fuck with PAC. He's one of the only guys who actually looks like a fucking man who's a guy his size, right? Reminds me of Chris Benoit a little bit, to be honest with you. And Eddie. Two small guys who were toned the fuck up, who took their fucking bodies and looked seriously. My only problem with PAC, and it has nothing to do with his wrestling. In fact, it has nothing to do with wrestling at all. It's just that PAC is always either injured or there's some bullshit having to deal with his visa. So you can never get fully invested in PAC because there's always some shit that's going to take him out of the story or take him out of the show. And it's like, if you invest any time into him, there's a good shot that it's going to be all for nothing because, well, he's busy having some personal problems or some injury. So hopefully they got that all squared away, because I do want to see them come back and, kind of, I don't know, maybe have a rematch at a later date when, maybe PAC is a little bit more elevated up the card and you could take him a little bit more seriously. I mean, take him seriously in the sense that he's a contender for a championship or something like that. But nevertheless, though, solid opener. I fuck with it. Just could have did a little bit more with that finish, and still not too sure about getting behind PAC. But with that being said, let's continue on with the show. Boys, I don't think we're making it out the hood with this one right here, man. This match was as bad as my predictions so far, and it's only been 2 matches. This was shit. This was dog shit. This was terrible. These girls are way too fucking loud. And honestly, look, I'm not a guy who's such a stickler when it comes to the actual in-ring performance and stuff like that. But like, damn, bro, there's a fucking limit. I mean, as far as actual good, decent fucking talent, as far as like compelling talent, you got Mina. She's a solid wrestler. Toni Storm obviously is a solid wrestler. And Willow Nightingale. You can maybe argue Megan Bayne for the most part, but it depends who her opponent is. But as far as like people who can lead a match, it's really just Mina, it's Toni, and it's Willow. All those other girls are fucking ass. Like, they're ass. They cannot wrestle worth a goddamn. Sky Blue has her moments, but man, overall, man, and that definitely showed in this match, man. That definitely showed in this match. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of jumbled up slow spots. People try to figure out what the fuck to do next kind of spots. Very evident. Very, very evident. And I look, I always had a problem with this when it was a WWE, and it feels like it's going to be the same thing in AEW. I just can't take a division seriously when you don't have legitimate fucking tag teams. Like, outside of Julia Hart and Sky Blue, everybody in this match is a makeshift team. You can somewhat kind of make an argument with Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa because of their history, but like legitimately the only actual team in this entire match is it's just Sky Blue and Julia Hart, which is even crazier because you got rid of another legitimate tag team in Tay Mello, right? Or Tay J, excuse me, I keep doing that shit. Tay J, Tay Mello and Anna J. These two teams were the only legitimate fucking tag teams in the entire fucking tournament. And you now, if the Sisters of Sin actually pick up the win in this, which I think they're the only ones worth deserving to actually get a legitimate tag team title shot and a legitimate tag team title run, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just a bunch of things wrong with this tournament as a whole, and just a bunch of things wrong in general when it came to this match. I didn't like this at all. This could have been kept off the show and put on an episode of fucking Dynamite or something. But I get it. That's why they put the stipulation on the end of it to make it somewhat feel like, I don't know, like worth a damn to be put on the actual pay-per-view. I'd even argue maybe take that tailgate match and put that on the show and then put this match on the fucking pre-show or something, right? But then I guess you probably have to say, "Oh, Devontae, stop being such a misogynist. You're such a misogynist. That means only one women's match can be on the show, and that's just Mercedes bald-headed Moné and Kris. Oh my God, I have so much ass, and it sucked the fat out of my titties to give to my ass, Statlander." Like, sure, whatever. But this match was ass, and it had no business being on a fucking pay-per-view, if you ask me. I mean, I know why it was on a pay-per-view, but as far as the match in itself, no business being this bad, being on a pay-per-view that I'm paying $50 for. Can I remind you guys, I'm paying $50 for my suffering so you guys can have something to watch and enjoy. I mean, really, are you watching the review or are you just listening to the cries of a man being tortured? I don't know. I'd probably go with the second one. But FTR and Brodido is coming up next, so hopefully they'll, I don't know, re-engage me with the show. Well, I was right. Finally. I mean, I finally got a prediction right. FTR won, but they didn't win in the way that I thought they were going to win, you know. Well, you know, hey, while I'm talking right now, maybe Edge and Christian might come out. Maybe they might. I'm not going to get that prediction right, am I? But I got the actual winners right, so I'm going to just take that and run with it. This was a damn good match. Now, I know most people will probably look at this match and they'll probably say to themselves like, "Oh, there was way too many false finishes." Here's my logic. We're looking at this, right? Here's my logic. One, it's for the Tag Team Championship belts. And I will give credit where credit is due when it comes to AEW. They really, really, really care about their Tag Team Championship belts, right? And they put that shit on a fucking pedestal. They have their Tag Team Championship matches on the pay-per-views, and they feel like they come second only to the World Heavyweight Championship when it comes to all those false finishes and the participation from the audience members and all that other kind of shit. So I will say that. And two, granted, again, it was a lot of false finishes, but the false finishes primarily came from Bandito as far as how he kept kicking out. And Bandito is the ROH World Heavyweight Champion. I will say that as well. So I'll give them an out with the false finish stuff, but that's still, even though I get it and I understand it, they really, 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 really need to cut it out with the false finishes, man. If that's all you can do in order to get a crowd hyped up and shit, then man, I don't know what that tells about your job. Kind of seems like you're a one-trick pony who really can't get the crowd invested unless you do stuff like false finishes, right? And people can say all they want to. Well, Devontae, that's a fixture in professional wrestling nowadays. But it wasn't back in the days. And people still got over. And people were way more over than any of the talent is right now. And it didn't take a shit ton of false finishes. Again, that false finish shit didn't become a pattern until Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker did it at WrestleMania 25. Right? Before 2009, you didn't see a lot of false finishes like that. So I wish they would cut it out with that bullshit. Now, with that being said, the match in itself, credit where credit is due. They went out there and they busted their ass. They kicked a lot of ass inside that match. And I had fun. I had a lot of fun watching the match. The early portions of the match, which tends to be a pattern whenever you watch FTR matches, where the opener, it builds up You know, it's very paced. The momentum of it is always going to be very methodical. And as time starts going on, if they're the heels, they're going to be the ones, you know, getting the heat. And you're going to build up a lot of anticipation for that inevitable hot tag, which Brodido was the one who was on the receiving end of the heat that FTR was actually doing, right? And he got the hot tag on he got Brodido to come into the ring after the hot tag. He cleared house. I like the spot from FTR where they did like a modified Power and Glory with the, you know, the superplex into the body splash, where you had instead, I think Brodido tried to go for like a diving Hurricane Rana, like a springboard diving Hurricane Rana or something like that. And he got caught into a powerbomb position by Dax, who ended up doing like a slingshot powerbomb. And that was a setup for Cash to do the body splash. I actually really fought with that. I like that a lot because it just kind of felt so smooth, and the transition between each move happening, it was a really, really good maneuver. I like that a lot. And I like the spot also with how they took out Stokely Hathaway when he was in the way, and he kind of pushed what's his name out of the way. I think it was maybe Cash Wheeler he pushed out the way when what the hell's that name again? Brody King ended up hitting a suicide dive outside the ring and then taking him out by accident, and he was gone for the rest of the match. But the finish came, and I like the finish. Like I said, too many false finishes really, really hinder a match for me, but it did build up into what I thought was somewhat of a pretty decent finish. A solid finish. I wouldn't even say decent. It was a solid finish where you had Dax and Cash give a spike power driver to Brody King on the ring apron. It took him out. And then they ended up giving one to, well, first off, he was trying to, you know, battle as much as he could, Brodido, before he was overtaken. And then he took a spike power driver, barely kicked out, barely got the arm up. And then when he stood up, he ended up giving the double gun finger salute to both of them. And that was kind of like his last stand, like a cowboy would do before he actually gets, you know, taken out. I like that. And then that led into them giving him the big rig, or I guess the Shatter Machine is what they call it now, right? And that's how they picked up the win to reclaim their tag team championships. The match probably went on for, well, I want to say maybe 25, maybe even 30 minutes. It was a long match. Again, with a lot of false finishes. I'm going to reiterate this one more time. I wish they would kill it with all the false finish BS. But with that being said, I liked it. It was solid shit. And kudos. I liked it a lot. Good shit. Good shit. But right now, it looks like they're going to do that Casino Battle Royal, right? Because that's Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley going at it. Ooh, let me get to this real quick. I'll be right back. This was actually a really, really fun match. I like this match. A lot of history, a lot of throwbacks, a lot of alliances. How it started off with Ricochet getting him and the rest of his, I don't know the name of the group. The two fucking Samoan guys going in there to beat the fuck out of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin to take him out the match for the majority of it. All the stuff that was going on with, you know, all the members of the fucking, what the hell are their names again? The Dick Riders, them coming out and, you know, coming together to jump everybody and all the participants filling into the ring. You got some face-offs between Jet Speed, you know, some stuff that was going on with Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia. This surprisingly had a decent amount of storytelling inside it for, you know, considering the type of match that it is. You know what I mean? I liked also how, like, fast-paced that it was. I don't think, I could be wrong, but the timer, it felt like it only went for like 30 seconds before another, or maybe a minute at best, before another opponent came outside to the ring, right? So I thought for the majority of this, all of this was fun. Everybody hit their spots fine. The storytelling inside it was rather decent considering the type of match that it was. I like the spot also where, like, everybody got taken out and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley rose back to their feet, and when they rose back to they literally just beat the dog shit out of every single person in this fucking match. And then it got to the part where it was Ricochet who came back into the ring, and he noticed that his work was not done all the way thoroughly, boys. It was not done to the point where you thought that it was actually going to succeed. And fucking Bobby and Shelton just beat the dog shit out of Ricochet. Just beat the fuck out of this kid. just destroyed him. Absolutely fucking destroyed him. And it was one little fucking spot. Actually, can I go back? Because my favorite spot in this, I had two favorite spots in this match. My second favorite spot of this match was in the outside of the ring after Shelton and Bobby was, beating the hell out of everybody. What's his name came into the ring, right? The dude from the Callis family, who I can't remember his name, the former partner of Kyle Fletcher. He comes into the ring, right? And Cesaro also comes to the ring. They take out Shelton and Bobby. And outside the ring, all you see in the camera view, like the focus is supposed to be in the ring, right? And out camera shot, all you see is Bobby belly to belly suplexing the shit out of Cesaro on the outside of the ring. Then he tries to go for a spear through the barricade, and the barricade does not break when Cesaro moves out of the fucking way. That was funny as hell. The sound of that Choco Nugget head hitting the fucking barricade was awesome. And then another funny spot in the match where it got to the point where I forgot who they were jumping inside the ring. Maybe Orange Cassidy. You had the Dick Riders, right? It was Wheeler Yuta, it was Cesaro, and it was Daniel Garcia. They're all running. Like, they probably did it like 3 or 4 times, right? Each of them. They're all each running into the corner, giving uppercuts to Orange Cassidy, right? And then just out of nowhere, you just see Ricochet join in, and he hits an uppercut on Orange Cassidy in the corner. And the Dick Riders are looking around like, what the fuck? Who told you can join in with us? And uppercut the shit out of Ricochet. But a finish essentially came where all chaos just started to break out, right? And eventually, I think what's Buddy's name again? The Black Knight, right? Kevin Knight. He hits like a frog splash, I think, on Wheeler Yuta, if I'm not mistaken. And as soon as he gets up, Ricochet comes with his what's he call it? The shooting gun or the killer gun or the Gallic gun, whatever the fuck he calls it. His little running forearm on the floor, right? And he ends up picking the win off of Kevin Knight to win the newly inaugural national championship. So good for Ricochet, I guess. I still don't see the point of having another mid-card championship belt when you already have so many mid-card championship belts as is. But it gives Ricochet something to sink his teeth into, I guess. I think someone actually called Ricochet as the winner also. So congratulations to whoever called Ricochet the winner, I think, in the community post. Good job. You're a psychic. You already have better predictions than I do. And I don't like that. And I don't like that you're better than me at something. So fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. And your mom hates you, little bro. How does that make you feel? Fucking predicting shit better than me. But coming up next, we got Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly in this no-holds-barred match. So maybe we might get some storytelling. We'll see. But good show so far. I'm actually fucking with the show. I'm just trying to understand the logic behind Kyle O'Reilly's recent push. So like they're really trying to do the whole Triple H Batista, I'm going to really, really put you the fuck over. Like, they're really doing this with Kyle O'Reilly, right? He just beat Jon Moxley again. And don't get it twisted. I fucking hate Jon Moxley. I hated this match, to be honest with you. This shit was trash to me. I did not give a fuck about this match whatsoever. But I said to myself, okay, if there can be some kind of logical, feasible thing that they can do in this match, maybe tell a decent story as to, I don't know, getting me into Kyle O'Reilly. The thing with Kyle O'Reilly is that, like, you've gone out of your way to stick him in so much comedy fodder. You have mid-carded this man so much. You have second-string quarterback this fucking guy so much, even within his own stable. And to just randomly, out of nowhere, shove him into this spot, it just seems so fucking random. And maybe I shouldn't even say Triple H Batista. Maybe in the sense of how he's putting him over. But I guess as far as the frustrations, it's starting to hit Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio levels. If you guys didn't watch the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio rivalry, even in WCW, but more so in WWE in 2005, the whole thing was Eddie couldn't beat Rey. That was the reason why Eddie was so obsessed, and he turned heel and he went crazy, and he tried to take Dominic Mysterio away from him. The whole point behind that was he was mad that he couldn't beat Rey Mysterio. And look at this now. Now you have Jon Moxley attacking Kyle O'Reilly after the match. Like, this is gonna fucking do something, bro. I don't care. I don't fucking care, bro. And he's not even doing shit. Like, dude, you suck. From a character standpoint, you fucking suck. As a wrestler, you fucking suck, dude. Tell me why. Not even a couple of minutes into the match, of course, because he's a garbage wrestler, he has to pull out a fork, right? And I get the whole point. I understand he's a deathmatch wrestler. He knows death jitsu, whatever the fuck that is. And look at this. I guess the whole point behind all this is they're eventually going to give up on Moxley because he keeps losing so many matches. Look at this. Look at Daniel Garcia. Actually, let me see what's gonna. Maybe they might tell a decent story out of this. I don't know. Hold up. No. Okay, so clear as day. So it looks like they're kind of confused with Jon Moxley walking away. I guess the whole thing is eventually they're gonna turn on Jon Moxley. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. At least this will put the end to the Dick Riders for good. But man, oh man, bro. Jon Moxley pulls out a fucking fork and he starts stabbing Kyle O'Reilly in the head with it. Because of fucking course, this guy here, he's so trash. He's so fucking trash. Oh, and did I mention? I didn't mention, because I'm going to mention it right now. One of the spots in the match, I shit you not, because they're just retarded. I don't know, bro. Jon Moxley takes the fork and he stabs Kyle O'Reilly again. This time, not in the forehead. You heard me right. He stabbed him in the nipple. He took a fork and he stabbed Kyle O'Reilly in the nipple. Underneath. Laid him down on the floor and he started digging the fork inside of his nipple. You think I'm joking when I say this dude is trash? He needs to go away. He just needs to fucking go away. Like just don't come back. You're such a fucking loser, dude. Like you're such a joke when it comes to the art of professional wrestling, dude. You're just a trash, garbage piece of shit wrestler. I hate him so much. I can't stress it. Never have I had so much disdain for a wrestler than I had with Jon Moxley, from the terrible Dick Rider storyline, from the terrible World Championship reign, for all his matches making a mockery out of professional wrestling. He's just shit. He's just dog shit. You can't even put people over correctly. You can't even fucking do a move. You know, you want to hear something even crazier? Jon Moxley having a match with Kyle O'Reilly got Seth Rollins over more than he did Kyle O'Reilly. Yes. This motherfucker ended up doing a curb stomp on Kyle O'Reilly on a chain, and this motherfucker got the whole whoa. He got the crowd doing that after he did a fucking stump to him. Like, dude, you got Seth Rollins over more than you did Kyle O'Reilly. Good job. Good fucking job, you nitwit. But like I said, as we're going towards the finish, you have Kyle O'Reilly, and they're just going back and forth, transitioning. There's no heat towards the ending of this also. Kyle O'Reilly eventually locks in the ankle lock like he's been doing for the past couple of weeks. He grapevines it, and he gets Jon Moxley to tap out. And it's like, dude, as a character, you suck. As a match leader or whatever, you fucking suck. You just suck. You just suck. Everything about you is just trash, dude. You're just trash. You're trash. And then, like I said, after the match, as you can see, he jumps in the ring. He kicks Kyle O'Reilly a couple of times before the Dick Riders come. And then he's like rocking away out of frustration. The Dick Riders are like, should we stay or should we go? It's like, you guys should probably separate and go do something with your careers solo before Jon Moxley drags you into the abyss of fucking suck. Oh my god, dude, he's so fucking trash. I hate Jon Moxley so goddamn much. Oh man, but here's my thing. Here's the part that I don't understand and I can't quite grasp. So you're doing all this with Kyle O'Reilly, and what is the end goal? Because AEW sucks when it comes to capitalizing on an end goal. First off, you haven't given any heat to Kyle O'Reilly whatsoever for him to even get these kind of wins over Jon Moxley. I fucking hate the guy, but his stature is objective within that company. He is one of your main stars, and you're randomly picking someone from the fucking mid-card and just throwing them inside there. And this is not even a knock on Kyle O'Reilly, because honestly, he had a lot of momentum coming out of NXT like 3 or 4 years ago. You could have capitalized on that, but you didn't. You let him wither away. And I'm not even saying that. Look, here's the thing. I don't have to be a fan of someone to at least acknowledge and recognize what they were doing in the previous company. Again, you drained all that fucking heat. And where did it fucking get you? Abso-fucking-lutely nowhere. And I just don't know what he's going to do. I mean, you already see what happened with Mark Briscoe, right? Now, granted, he's about to get a title shot with Kyle Fletcher right now, and hopefully he wins, because if he doesn't fucking win, I'm asking again, you did all that shit with him and MJF, another high caliber star within your company, and where did it get Mark Briscoe? First off, being someone like an MJF should probably get you thrown into the World Championship division, if you ask me. But now you're struggling with, I don't even know what caliber as far as the ranking of prestige this title even relies ranks into, right? Because now you have the national championship. Nothing just feels like it's vindicated within this company. They just see somebody and push them and say to themselves, oh, well, this is the new flavor of the month and therefore this is good. It's so stupid. The logic never ceases to amaze me as far as how much it lacks within this fucking company. But Kyle O'Reilly, he wins. We'll see where he goes from here. Probably after, I don't know, the 31,000 mid-card championship belt, or maybe a CMLL title, or maybe an ROH championship. Never after the actual world championship, after you just beat a former world champion. Just fuck this match, dude. Fuck Kyle, fuck John, fuck this match. Let's get to the next shit. I don't even want to think about this match anymore. What a garbage match. Oh my god, get this fucking show over with now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I started to fall asleep during this match. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so over. I forgot this was a no disqualification match. These motherfuckers did 2 no disqualification matches. These motherfuckers did 2 hardcore matches back to back with the same type of fucking wrestling. Fucking people stabbing each other with shit. A bunch of fucking blood. A bunch of fucking bullshit. Bro, I used to love hardcore matches when I was a kid. I promise you, I used to love them, man. I'm so over hardcore matches now. AEW has literally ruined. They have ruined hardcore matches for me. They have ruined the concept of a fucking hardcore match. They've actually somewhat bastardized blood. They did. To the point that if WWE were to use blood, it wouldn't even feel the same. It wouldn't even feel the same. It wouldn't even hit the same. They've ruined blood for me, bro. And you know we're going to get more blood in the steel cage match. It only makes sense. Why would you do this? Why would you have 2 back-to-back hardcore matches? Why would you have blood happening all throughout the fucking card and you still have a steel cage match for your World Heavyweight Championship? I don't care if it is something to set up for MJF to come back or something like that, man. It makes no sense to me why you would do some stupid shit like this. It's the same plunder bullshit. Bunch of tables, bunch of chairs, bunch of barbed wire, bunch of thumbtacks, screwdrivers, just the 9 yards. They've completely just ruined everything for me when it comes to hardcore wrestling. It doesn't even hit the same anymore, bro. It doesn't even feel the same anymore. Like these kinds of matches, I remember when Randy Orton and Cactus Jack had their hardcore match at Backlash in 2004. Do you know what they had to do to get to the point where they had that hardcore match? Did you know how many fucking months? It took damn near a full year. They started feuding for the first time around June or July of 2003. It climaxed in December. It peaked at the Royal Rumble. It continued throughout WrestleMania season. It took all of that for them to have their first one-on-one match. That was the match that concluded into that all-time great hardcore match for the Intercontinental Championship at Backlash. And AEW, all you have to do is just say a fucking couple of words, maybe do some stuff for about 2 weeks, and you can have the bloodiest match of all time. It doesn't even matter whether or not you actually relate to the superstar. It doesn't matter how big or how grandiose the story is. It's just, hey, we can do it, so let's just fucking do it. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of the overusage of blood. I'm sick and tired of the overusage of complicated weapon spots when you haven't gotten anybody at all to relate to the story or the characters outside of the fucking sickos. Which, by the way, I guarantee you they don't give a shit either. You know why? Because this match is match of the year, and then the following week's match is match of the year, then the following week after that is match of the year. They probably call Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly match of the year before they seen the next hardcore match, the following match, and then call that match of the year. Nothing has any prestige to it at all. They just do shit for the sake of doing shit, and you expect me to give a fuck? I don't give a fuck about Mark Briscoe. I don't give a fuck about Kyle O'Reilly. I want to give a fuck about Mark Briscoe. I want to give a fuck about Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle Fletcher. I can't even get his fucking name right. That's how much I give a shit about him, right? But instead, no. You promote the majority of their bullshit feud probably on Collision, because I don't even remember what the fuck they were doing these past couple of weeks. Man, you just climax again. It's nauseating, bro. It's nauseating. It's the same kind of feeling I used to have whenever I jumped online to play video games like on 2K12 or 2K13 or 2K14 and watching a bunch of little kids put DLC moves on their CAWs, and then we go out there and I want to have a classic match with them. But it's like you just spam DLC moves, and no matter how cool the moves are, when everybody is spamming the DLC, it's not cool anymore, bro. The show started off so well, too. It started off so fucking well. Yeah, like one little fumble, and everything else just falls into place. LOL AEW. Speaking of LOL AEW, let's get to this bullshit tag team match that I also don't give a fuck about. I'm so fucking done now. I'm so fucking over this show. Well, and what is probably the most predictable fucking finish, period. And I ain't talking about the match. I'm talking about the post-match stuff. If you haven't been keeping up with AEW, which even if I'm not reviewing the shows, I still do peek my little eyeballs inside the bathroom to see who's naked, because I got to get my rocks off, right? And I have been keeping up with it, and I have been seeing the progression of the Young Bucks characters, seeing how uncomfortable they've been with the Don Callis regime. So it was pretty obvious where this was leading to. Nevertheless, I'll give credit where credit was due. You know, they, how many times have I said credit where credit is due? I feel like I said that a lot throughout this fucking whatever. Even if it is predictable doesn't automatically mean it's bad. You know, it was still good. Nice little feel-good story in the end of the match. That's literally the best thing about this entire segment. That is the best thing about this entire match, was the post-match stuff. If we're talking about the actual match in itself, typical bullshit choreograph. Wait, let me do my sequence. Now you get in and do your sequence. Now you get in and do your sequence. Now you get in and do your sequence. It's like all the fucking tripes, all the cliches for AEW. They're playing all the greatest hits. They're playing all the greatest hits, boys. And I just didn't care. Again, one of those matches where it took everything in me to not fall asleep. But if you care, the Young Bucks ended up giving Jungle I almost said the F word, Gay Jungle Boy the BTE trigger, and then they picked up the win. And then afterwards, the rest of the Don Callis family started to jump Kenny Omega, and Don Callis and the Young Bucks are walking out with the duffel bag full with money, because I guess $1 million was on the line or something like that. And they look conflicted up there on the stage. They run back down to save Kenny Omega, and they extend their hands out to Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They shake their hands, and they're waiting for Kenny Omega's response. Kenny Omega, you already see where this is going. I knew Kenny Omega was going to slap their hands. I knew Kenny Omega was going to hug them eventually. All that shit played out. It is. Yep, that's a real yawn. What it is. What can you say, right? Boring match. predictable post-match stuff. It is what it is. Felt like filler to me, if you ask me. All right, Mercedes, Kris, get this shit on the road so we can get the fuck up. Oh, fuck, no, we still have the fucking main event. Jesus Christ. All right, hurry this shit up. Yeah, so this is for sure the best match of the night. Damn sure, easily the best match of the night. I like this match a lot. This was a damn solid, good women's match. Very, very good women's championship match. The problem with this match had nothing to do with the girls' quality of work. I've been actually a pretty big fan of the Kris Statlander, Mercedes Moné trilogy. I liked all their matches, the two from last year, this one right here. This is probably their best match so far, in my opinion. I know some people will probably say, what, last year's Full Gear, or I think it was Full Gear last year they wrestled. I could be wrong about that, but I like this one the most. I really fuck with this match just because of how straightforward it was. But the problem with this match, and that's just gonna be the case when fucking with AEW pay-per-views, man, the crowd was pretty fucking dead for a lot of this match. Like, they'll pop here and there, but for the majority of this match, this crowd was dead, bro. This crowd was really fucking dead. This show's too fucking long, bro. It is 11:54. We are actually going to start the main event at midnight. Midnight, we're going to start the main event again, bro. And I understand we do this all the time. I get it, Devontae. You've sat through, dozens upon dozens upon dozens of AEW shows. You should already know what time it is. But it each time, bro, it fucking hurts. Like, it is exhausting having to sit through all this shit, especially when you just replicate the same match over and over again. Do I have to remind you that they did 2 back-to-back hardcore matches? This shit is exhausting, bro. People want to go to sleep. People don't want to deal with this shit. And this is just me watching the show. I can only imagine how the people feel in the audience. They had to sit in that shit for like, 7, 8 hours or whatever? 6 hours at least? Like, this shit is exhausting, bro. And it hurt the quality of this match because the crowd wasn't into it as much as they should have been into it, because it was a damn good match. The girls put their working boots on. They went out there and they had a killer fucking match. You got 14 Three Amigos. You had some homages to Bailey, some homages to D. Malenko with that backbreaker off the turnbuckle, which was obviously a response to Sasha Banks paying tribute to Eddie, because that's Eddie Guerrero's arguably his biggest rival of all time, and D. Malenko. I like all the stuff that they were doing, the transitional spots, the lateral presses into most of the roll-ups, the like, this has got to be the most smoothest wrestling I think I've ever seen from the women, or at least it's been a long time since I've seen no botches, no fuck-ups, the transition moves. Like, these girls went out there and they fucking killed it. And I even like I really dug that fucking Poison Rana spot out of because some of the spots were kind of convoluted, but then they ended up making sense when it was all said and done. That make any sense, right? So, like, when Sasha tried to go for like the diving Meteora, she didn't even do that move a lot of times in this match. I know, give her credit where credit is due, right? That's my drinking game. Credit where credit is due. But when she did the Meteora, she caught her into a powerbomb position, threw Sasha up like she was going to go for an electric chair driver, or maybe even, I don't know, like a one-winged angel or some shit. And then Mercedes reversed that into a Poison Runner. I fuck with that spot. And the finish came when Kris Statlander, kind of out of nowhere, but, I get it. Like, come on, get to the fucking point. Not because the match is bad, but because I want to fucking get to the main event and put this video out and take my ass to bed. She ended up hitting the Saturday Night Fever Tombstone Power Driver on her. And that's how she picked up the win, by the way. But that's not even to notate even some of the other spots. Like, you got the Kevin Owens, or Kevin Steen, I guess in this case, package Power Driver from Kris Statlander. Like, these girls went out there again. They killed it. This again is my favorite match from these women, and might be my top 3 favorite women matches of the entire year. I gotta see where the placement is at. I think still my favorite women's match of the year is probably gonna be Rhea and Io still. I think that's probably my favorite women's match of the entire year is Rhea and Io. The triple threat match from the women at WrestleMania probably might be number 2, and I might even arguably say that this is number 3. No joke, I might say this is like my number 3 favorite women's match of the year. This match was good. Again, best match of the night so far, easily. Unless that steel cage match does something, easily best match of the night so far. And like I said, credit where credit is due. It just sucks that I don't think people are going to value it as much as they should value it in the live audience, because it has nothing to do with the girls. It's just the time management for these shows are just fucking crazy. But finally, we made it to the main event. After sitting through all of this fucking shit, we finally made it to the main event. Please, oh please, let's get this shit over with. Oh my god, bro, get this shit over with. Nigga. Bruh. That's your closing. That's how you close the fucking show. Bruh. I don't even have anything against the homie, bruh. The way they built this up, I thought it was going to be like a WWE superstar that I just didn't know was coming to AEW. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I forgot Swerve Strickland was even injured. I forgot he was even out. I mean, good that he's back. I didn't even know he was gone to even know that he was back. But apparently that's how they want to go off the air, huh? Now, I will give credit where credit is due. They swerved the fuck out of me, no pun intended, in multiple ways. Not just from the return to Swerve Strickland, but also with how this match went down. First off, this match was ass. This bored the fuck out of me. Because, again, I just couldn't get into it because so many matches were so hardcore previously that this match just didn't stand out. I was already exhausted because of how terrible this show was. This just didn't do anything for me. I can't notate anything significant out of this match. I can't notate the spots. I can't notate the fact that there's blood because everybody else fucking blood. Bro, dead ass serious. Yo, how the fuck you got 9 matches on this card and 1/3 of the match? 1/3 of the match card was blood. 1/3 of the match card was blood. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, homie. And then you try to do this whole little swerve in the end of the match and shit like that with Hook. Hook, of all people. You're going to use Hook as a hook. Hook turns on Samoa, on Hangman Adam Page to help out Samoa Joe. That's the whole thing. And Samoa Joe wins the AEW World Championship, which I have no problem with. I like Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe's the bee's knees. But just none of this felt like a World Championship match to me. None of this really felt like a AEW main event. Well, it did feel like an AEW main event because that's why it's ass. But it didn't really hit that for me. This feud felt random. This feud felt like it came out of nowhere. All this shit happened all randomly. And now we're at a point right now where, look at this shit. Swerve Strickland is now in the ring. I guess they cleared the way to make it look like he was going to go attack Hangman Adam Page. And now he's being restrained by all the ops. Just jump him! What are you guys doing? Beat his ass! No, instead we're going to let Swerve Strickland sit there and just beat all our asses because, nigga, why are you... This what a goofy ass show. What a goofy ass main event. And not only that, so you trying to tell me you're going to run back Swerve and Samoa Joe again? Again? That's going to be the World's End main event. It's Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland again. After all the shit, Swerve already beat this man for the World Championship like 1.5 years ago. That's how he became World Champion. This is the path that we're in right now. This is so goofy, bruh. Yeah, this main event did not feel like a main event. This main event was absolute ass sickles. Everything about this show did not sit right with me. Everything felt super convoluted. Everything about this show felt like you were throwing shit against the wall. Nothing had any meaning to it. The rivalries that you were trying to build up, it felt like you rushed this shit just to say you can have the match. And then when you have the match, you make them do all this extracurricular bullshit like bleed in every single fucking match. I don't want to see blood ever again, bro. I don't want to see blood ever again. Blood has lost all meaning to me in professional wrestling because of what AEW has done tonight in particular. It's craziness, bruh. It's craziness. You sit here and you build all this shit up. You build all this shit up to make it to this point right here. Oh, even better, because now you have Hangman who is standing up side by side with Swerve. And I fuck with their feud. Didn't like their steel cage match last year, but I fuck with their feud. So is the idea to run a triple threat match with Swerve, Joe, and Hangman at World's End? Because guess what? You did that too, with Samoa Joe as the world champion. This is what I mean, bruh. This is what I mean. You're retreading shit because you know your shit. And the logo's on the screen and it goes off the air. Thank God. What a waste of fucking time. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I can never just leave an AEW show. I can never leave an AEW pay-per-view feeling satisfied, feeling like I got my money's worth, feeling like, well, at least there's more than just doing this review and engaging with the fans and engaging with the subs. I actually do want to watch a wrestling show, and I do want to be enjoyed. I do want to feel satisfied, but it's a fucking headache, bro. It's a fucking headache. Week after fucking week, month after fucking month, year after fucking year. They can never get it right. They can never get it right. It's the same shit all the fucking time. Every story lacks substance. And they make up for it by doing choreographs, by doing blood, and by doing fucking garbage mud show nonsense to make up for the fact that you have no depth in almost the majority of your entire fucking roster. That's how you make up for it. You make up for it by having gimmicks within gimmicks in itself. And you give us this less satisfying bullshit. To the point where I say to you that I actually don't care that Samoa Joe is world champion, but then again I say to myself, what are they going to do with Joe that they didn't do with him before when he was world champion? He's a two-time AEW world champion now. What are they going to do with Joe right now that they didn't do with him before? How did Joe even get in this spot to fucking begin with, considering that you had him running the coattails of his trios for months now? That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm getting at. You end fucking Hangman Adam Page, one of the worst title reigns. This is arguably equatable to his first fucking title reign. You end one of the worst fucking title reigns ever in this company's history, did nothing for your metrics, did nothing for your ratings, after spending an entire fucking year, maybe even arguably 2 years if you want to say the starting point is Swerve Strickland. You spent 2 years dedicated to giving this man a redemption story. You pay it off at your biggest show ever, arguably, just to give him this shitty fucking reign. And your idea is, well, let's just throw gimmicks on top of it and maybe no one will notice the fact that we gave him a shitty title reign. Well, maybe if we concentrate on more of the choreographed bullshit surrounding the entire show, no one will focus on the fact that we barely main evented this motherfucker on any of our actual programming. Maybe, just maybe, if we put more thumbtacks in the middle of the ring and have dumb fucks step on it barefoot, maybe if we have more glass in the middle of the fucking ring to be used, maybe if we have more barbed wire being used, maybe, just maybe, they won't notice how lacking of substance we have within our main event and world title scene. You know, Samoa Joe's a world champion, but he's better off at this point being any champion within AEW, because it feels like hierarchy has no substance anymore. It feels like every fucking championship belt, including the Prestige prize, the world championship, is on par with each other. Make it make sense. You gave us 4.5 hours of sitting through this fucking garbage to get to this as your conclusion. Hook, fucking collision hook being the catalyst for a fucking swerve. And your swerve of all swerves is a returning swerve that I didn't even know was gone this entire time for the most part. I forgot he was gone the entire time for the most part. But they'll sit back and they'll ignore all those things and they'll suggest that, hey, focus on the 5-star caliber matches. But then at the same time, when your show ends up hitting 200,000 viewers on Dynamite, you want to sit back and blame all these circumstances surrounding it. Ooh, it's the dying medium when it comes to cable. Ooh, it's just the fact that Nielsen restructured how the fuck we're actually seeing, just like every other television show. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's raining cats and dogs. I had to go take a piss and I never came back to watch a television show. How about the fact that you have nothing worth watching? You had one job. Be the alternative. Give us something that actually contrasts from the garbage that is WWE, from the boring, nonsensical bullshit that is WWE, and you can't even do that right. This is your idea of a fucking main event. This is your idea of a pay-per-view show. Substitute blood for every goddamn thing and just say to yourself, well, there you go. The optics should just matter more than the substance. Sure. Bet. Another failed AEW show, folks. What a fucking surprise, am I right? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below as far as how you felt about the show. My name is Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. 4.5 hours. $50 down the drain. Might as well just go get a fucking book and just tally that up and say how much money have I lost in the last 4 years since actually purchasing these shows. It's got to be closing in on the thousands at this point, right? My minutes damn sure have exceeded more than 1,000, but my money is probably exceeding more than 1,000 at this point as well. Fuck out of here. Deuces, P, Ice. What a fucking shame. This is so fucking ridiculous.